Former president and current reverse mortgage applicant Donald Trump criticized Biden's speech, saying the words are not flowing smoothly out of his mouth. Well, we can't all speak with the same effortless grace as Donald J. Trump.
Just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
It sounds like someone just inserted a colonoscopy camera. As you may have seen on your aunt's Facebook, many MAGA personalities are claiming that the Super Bowl is being rigged so that Kansas City wins and Taylor Swift can come onto the field with Travis Kelce and endorse Joe Biden.
John Kerry announced that he is stepping down as the U.S. climate envoy and is expected to focus on President Biden's re-election campaign. And it's not a great sign that Biden's campaign is a bigger emergency than climate change. In an interview on Fox News, presidential candidate Nikki Haley said that America has, quote, never been a racist country. Because if Americans were so racist, why did they have sex with their slaves?
Man, MAGA people have so many enemies to keep track of. You have to hate the NFL, Taylor Swift, Bud Light, Disney, Kristen Stewart for some reason, electric stoves, windmills, the concept of rainbows, and the green M&M.
After Ron DeSantis endorsed Donald Trump, he called DeSantis a really terrific person and promised to stop calling him Ron DeSanctimonious. Well, it's like a wise man once said.
You can be the most worthless Republican in America, but if you kiss the ring, he'll say you're wonderful.
Well...
And you have to think that everybody in the government is a secret pedophile except for this guy dancing with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, isn't that the happiest you've ever seen Trump? He's dancing like nobody's checking IDs.
A new poll finds that New York Mayor Eric Adams' approval rating is just 28%. Now, that sounds low. Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy admitted in a new interview that he flew 2 times on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet, but only to make sure none of those girls were vaccinated. It's going to be one of these kind of nights, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, President Biden made a drastic change in his immigration policy, saying he would be willing to shut down the border if given the power by Congress. It's the kind of unexpected shift in direction Biden usually only makes in the middle of a sentence. The Biden campaign is trying to appeal to black voters as polls show their support for Biden has declined. It's getting so bad, he now only has support from Obama's white half.
On his website, I'm going to guess scam, Donald Trump denied reports that he was so depressed after the 2020 election that he stopped eating, saying, quote, "It was not that I was not eating, it was that I was eating too much." Wow, good save. That's like when a rumor went around middle school that I had peed my pants, and I was like, joke's on you, because I actually pooped them.
Did you guys all forget?
In some great economic news for President Biden, U.S. oil production hit an all-time high this week, and the economy added a surprisingly robust 350,000 jobs. Or as Fox News reported it, are migrants turning your kids trans?
The Los Angeles Dodgers have signed two-way superstar Shohei Ohtani to a 10-year contract worth $700 million, which is almost as much as his sister on OnlyFans, Shofeet Ohtani. I thought that was a real smart joke.
Campaign finance records show that in the last 6 months, the super PACs behind Donald Trump spent $50 million on Trump's legal fees. And that's with the cheapest, worst lawyers on the planet. Can you imagine spending $50 million on the people who just lost you $83 million? I mean, this lawyer did such a bad job in court, I thought her actual name was Overruled Shutdown.
A self-described anti-woke beer company has created a calendar which features, quote, the most beautiful conservative women in America, which is just a polite way of saying flat asses. All right. After After the New Hampshire primary, Nikki Haley attacked Donald Trump and called out his, quote, senior moments, which made Trump so angry he almost ripped off the safety rails on his toilet. Nikki Haley has launched a series of campaign ads targeting both Donald Trump and Joe Biden called Grumpy Old Men. Okay, but at least they're men. Chicago became the largest U.S. city to call for a ceasefire in Gaza, and in return, Gaza called for a ceasefire in Chicago.
Buffalo Bills coach Sean McDermott apologized after giving a speech to his players where he used 9/11 terrorists as a good example of teamwork, which is kind of a full circle moment because when Osama bin Laden was giving the terrorists a pep talk, he told them not to be like the Bills. The FCC is preparing to criminalize unsolicited robocalls that use AI to impersonate politicians. But you can still impersonate Ted Cruz by shaving a sloth's face.
A gym teacher in Florida was arrested after he threw a basketball at a sixth grader and then elbowed him in the mouth, knocking out his front tooth. The teacher was forced to resign and return to the Golden State Warriors. It tracks.
Yep. Spirit Airlines shares have fallen 58% after a federal judge blocked a merger with JetBlue. So now the only way Spirit and JetBlue will merge is midair.
Black History Month started on Thursday, 20 minutes late. During a Senate hearing on child safety, online Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg turned to the audience and apologized to families of children who were harmed by social media. The family said they were surprised and, quote, chilled to the bone. It's a horrifying man. The former president of the Spanish Soccer Federation is being charged with sexual assault for kissing a female player without her consent after the Women's World Cup. If convicted, she will be allowed one free kick. That was a nice little word joke. Police in Queens were searching for a suspect who hijacked a bus and then immediately crashed it into a utility pole. Okay, so we know it's a woman.
NBC has announced plans for a spin-off to the hit series Suits, which will be set in Los Angeles. It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
I like that one.
Yep. Mitch McConnell, seen here bringing peanuts into a preschool cafeteria, said he will tell Republican senators to vote against additional aid for Ukraine and Israel until there are meaningful changes to the border. But the way it came out was brains.
A Pizza Hut in Canada has gone viral after employees posted a sign on the door explaining that the location was closed due to unforeseen circumcisions. It was obviously a misprint because Pizza Hut loves extra toppings. I'm really proud of that.
A Christmas photo released by the royal family features a bad Photoshop job where Prince Louis's finger appears to be missing. And this is sweet. Meghan Markle said she has a finger they can use if they need it.
A proposed bill in California would create an alert system for missing black women and kids. This is in addition to the alert system for missing white women and kids, the news.
A racehorse in Ohio, which had won a race earlier in the day, later tested positive for meth. Ohio, where you have to test horses for meth.
A first-class dining menu from the Titanic is being auctioned off for over $80,000. The menu includes duck in a port wine sauce, spring lamb, and bottomless water. It's the Titanic.
Because the Titanic, right?
sunk. Police in Kansas found a stolen statue honoring Jackie Robinson, but say that it was damaged beyond repair. Also, police shot it because it refused to drop the bat. I like this crowd a lot, man.
A new study finds that your risk of developing diabetes depends on how fast you walk and whether this sound plays while you're walking.
Scientists in New Guinea have rediscovered a long-lost mammal called a monotreme, which has the quills of a hedgehog, the snout of an anteater, the feet of a mole, and the ass of an angel. After a judge's ruling left access to abortion pills uncertain, some state officials are stockpiling them just in case. Officials like California Governor Gavin Newsom, Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey, and New York comedian Michael Che.
A family in Michigan whose duck lost its mate placed a personal ad online to find the bird a new partner. And in a loving act of understanding, they even specified power bottoms.
Hurricane Ian hit Florida this week, and Governor Ron DeSantis called it a 500-year flooding event. In fact, it's such a historic tragedy that DeSantis won't let them teach about it in Florida schools. Raphael Warnock defeated Herschel Walker in Georgia's Senate runoff race. You know, but I don't think this is the last you'll hear from Herschel Walker. I mean, unless he's your biological father. With Raphael Warnock's win, Democrats in the Senate will no longer have to rely on Vice President Harris for tie-breaking votes. Harris can now focus on her main priority, waiting for a worse bike accident.
The Supreme Court heard a case this week over whether a conservative evangelical woman can refuse to design a website for a same-sex marriage. But, honey, I don't know any gay couple who's going to hire a designer with those highlights. Jenny Thomas, who's begging you to notice the scarf. So she can say, oh, this old thing? Reportedly told the committee that her husband was unaware of her involvement in challenges to the 2020 election, and they never discuss any case before the court. And if there's one thing I believe, it's that this guy doesn't talk to his wife.
Honey.
I'm sorry. I apologize. During oral arguments in the case, Justice Samuel Alito raised the hypothetical, could a black department store Santa be forced to take a picture with a child dressed in a Klan robe? Alito added that he'd love an answer before he...
আলো দেখতে পাচ্ছেন খুব সুন্দর একটা ড্রয়িং এই ড্রয়িংটা আপনি চাইলে খুব সহজে করে ফেলতে পারবেন মাত্র কয়টি রং পেন্সিল ব্যবহার করে কিভাবে ড্রয়িংটা করবেন কি কি রং পেন্সিল লাগবে এই ভিডিওতে সেটা নিয়ে আলোচনা করব অবশ্যই ভিডিওটা মনোযোগ সহকারে দেখবেন এবং সবার সাথে শেয়ার করতে ভুলবেন না